This week on Morning Mika, the ugly truth about the products I use. All of them. I feel like pins are coming in all over my body and bugs are crawling all over my face. The doctor would say, "Oh, you can't scratch it." And I'd feel like there are bugs crawling off my face day and night constantly. And I'd be good for a few days. And then I'd be like, "Oh, I just got to get this off me."
And then when I do your makeup, you want to take the makeup right away off.
That was me talking to my longtime makeup artist, Wilbert Ramos, and to industry experts about how my face exploded in hives, blistered, pimples, rashes all over my face for the entire summer. The experience sent me on a journey to really learn about the products I use and what is actually in them. I'll be honest, I had never thought much about it before, because when you work in television, heavy makeup isn't really optional, it's part of the job. I've always had sensitive skin on top of it, itchy, irritated every time I stepped off the set. From my early days reporting in Hartford, Connecticut for more than a decade, to CBS News Up to the Minute anchoring the overnight show, to MSNBC's homepage, oh my Lord, back to CBS as a correspondent, and now to Morning Joe for the past 20 years, almost. I've worn every look under the sun. By the way, that's 20 years almost on Morning Joe. My career spans almost 40 years. 40 years of wearing heavy makeup, hairspray, you name it. And the second the cameras went dark, I would sprint to the bathroom to scrub all the products off my face. They were driving me crazy. 2 decades ago, the situation started to become unmanageable, especially during the spring and summer. So I assumed it was just seasonal allergies, right? And I took every allergy medicine on the market, which made my skin drier. This summer, however, things took a dramatic turn. I broke out in angry hives all over my face, and I had the feeling of jabbing pins moving just from my eyes, usually every spring and summer, to random spots all over my body, from my scalp to the back of my knees, to my thighs, to my toes, everywhere. And my face looked grotesque. Oozy red welts, rash-like bumps, pimples, hives. I didn't want to leave the house, let alone walk into a TV studio. It was starting to impact my mood and my patience. It got so bad at times I could not do my job. I felt distracted by the severe itching and the feeling of sharp pins and needles all over my body. And as I was reporting the news, all I could think about is how it felt like bugs were crawling up my face 24/7. I wanted to rip my skin off. I couldn't exercise. Going out in the sun felt like I was being scalded. And this feeling, all these feelings, were constant, 24/7. I couldn't sleep. I ended up having to take time off to try and figure out what was going wrong. I was referred to Dr. David Cohen, professor of dermatology and an authority on contact dermatitis at NYU Langone Health. And NYU, of course, was the first center in the United States to perform patch testing back in 1930. And Dr. Cohen has since led efforts to refine the method. So he did extensive patch testing on me. I had to take a week off just for the patches. He told me that I'm allergic to 3 ingredients. These specific ingredients that I cannot pronounce. These specific ingredients are found, I want to say, in many beauty products and household products. I think actually most. While these 3 ingredients aren't considered toxic per se, or officially toxic, they trigger allergic reactions in me. He also encouraged me to use the SkinSafe app, where I can input my patch test results and find products that are safe for me. It also tells me what products are not safe for me. Upon the advice of my daughter, Amelia, who has always been very concerned about finding clean, safe products to use in makeup, especially in skin products, I reached out to the Environmental Working Group, a nonprofit that researches the safety of consumer products, to analyze more than 24 lotions, serums, creams, cosmetics that I was using almost every day. The results floored me. More on that in just a moment. Let's just say it was a wake-up call. For decades, I've slathered on whatever promised miracles. Pricey creams that Joe would gift me at Christmas, trendy serums claiming to erase wrinkles, which I have a lot of, potions boasting all-natural magic. In reality, I was loading my skin with chemicals that made me sick. 2 weeks ago, after receiving my test results, I stopped using all of my products. I went cold turkey. I didn't use anything, and it was tough. The symptoms started to subside right away. I still had them, but I could feel them subsiding. Here's the problem. The ingredients that I'm allergic to, or some compound of them, is in practically everything. Eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, blush, foundation, concealer, powder, hairspray, lotion, oils, laundry detergent, soap. The list goes on and on and on. This is still a journey I'm on. I'm really trying to make changes in my life, and meaningful change is going to take a lot of learning and a lot of researching. So here to discuss and help us out is Dr. Alexa Friedman, Senior Scientist at the Environmental Working Group, and Jocelyn Lyle, the organization's Executive Vice President of Mission and Partnerships. And let's just dive in. Dr. Friedman, you analyzed my products, and I use a lot. I was surprised how many products I use. It's amazing. But they all are products you use, actually. A lot of women use them. And what did you find, and why does it matter?
Yeah, so we looked at all the products you're using, and you're not alone. Women and men, all people are using, averages of 10 to 15 products a day. And these are products we need not only to feel good, but we're talking about our toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, things that we're regularly using. And when we looked at your products, although we didn't see those 3 ingredients that were found on your patch test that caused the allergies, we did see that there were many ingredients that were known to be sensitizers and cause irritation to the skin.
And some of the ingredients that doctors found I'm allergic to, they can come out in different forms and compounds. I mean, they can be not the ingredient, but similar to them or some form of them, correct?
Right, so the ingredients that you looked at your patch test, there are going to be compounds that are very similar to them, or maybe ones that you didn't even have on your patch test for testing that may be in these products that cause sensitization or the allergy or rashes on your skin. And the reality is, when you're exposed the first time, you might not have a reaction, but when you're using these things every day over many years for work or just life and to feel good, those reactions can get worse, even if you're exposed to something at a lower concentration at another time.
That's really important. So you may not feel allergic right away, but prolonged use can be the problem, and I think that was the problem for me. Jocelyn, we're going to get to alternatives and more on the science, but Jocelyn, can you give us the big picture about not just the beauty, but household products, this industry? Is it transparent enough? Is it regulated enough in terms of safe versus harmful ingredients, chemicals?
It's a good question. We could do better. We could always do better. For the cosmetic industry, we saw regulation happen a few years ago. Wasn't comprehensive enough. It doesn't go far enough to require safety testing, labeling requirements. So what the Environmental Working Group does is we have a team of toxicologists and PhDs and chemists, and what we do is we provide that information for consumers. So industry can absolutely step up, and we see them doing that. They are calling us all the time asking, how do they make products that are safe for you, safe for the family, and safe for the environment as well? And this is everything from personal care products, which includes shampoo. It also includes baby products, which I think surprises people.
Oh my.
We're not just talking about adults.
It's everything.
We're talking about little kids, infant formula, infant shampoos, infant lotions, everything. And so the industry absolutely needs to be better regulated, but until that happens, EWG is there setting our own standards and working with industry daily to meet these comprehensive.
And people can go on your website and learn a lot about their own products. And find alternatives. I will say I was shocked at how everything in my life could be potentially assaulting me with the chemicals in them. I mean, everything, not just makeup for TV, but household products, just lotions, soaps. I mean, I had to replace all the soaps. I'm trying to figure this out, and it really is much harder than it seems. It's not like don't use this one thing. Dr. Friedman, how can women make safer choices, what should they look for on labels? Can they read they're very small, but can they look for something and it's like a red flag?
Yeah.
What do they do?
Yeah, and I think first we should acknowledge that this is really difficult, and it really shouldn't be on the individual to have to figure out what's on their product labels, what's in their products, and what choices they need to make. What you've gone through is horrible, and no one should have to do that. Everyone should have access to safe products. What people can do is, start to have some more awareness, come to the EWG site, our Skin Deep database, look at their products, and check for common concerns. When you look at one of our products on one of our pages, you'll see that we, have a specific section that highlights allergies, irritation, ingredients that may be associated with reproductive or developmental toxicity or even cancer. So you can look through those and see, are those common concerns? Are there places you can make a change? And you don't have to change everything. Maybe there's a shampoo you really love, but you're less committed to your lotion, and maybe you can make a change there, because it's about, small changes do add up.
Yeah, because again, it's the prolonged use that, it may not have been as bad for me in my 20s, but it got worse in my 30s, it got worse in my 40s. I'm now 58, and wow, I have a massive reaction to products that I've been using for a long time. Jocelyn, let's talk about accountability. Do you see pressure mounting on companies to do better, to clean up the beauty aisle, or really any household products? Everything that we use seems to be a little bit questionable unless you're looking for very specific lines.
Absolutely, and conversations like this help.
Yeah.
And so I think raising awareness about these known toxic exposures in our everyday products, and from household cleaning products to laundry detergent to drinking water to personal care products, we are exposed to hundreds of ingredients every day. And so when consumers start to understand what companies are committed to creating safer products, you can see that by, are they disclosing their ingredients on their label? It's a pretty quick flip it over. And if you see the term fragrance, that means they're not being fully transparent with you.
Right, because fragrance is made up of ingredients.
Over 3,000 ingredients can be a part of that fragrance umbrella. And so what EWG is pushing for is, let's just start with transparency. Let's tell people what's in your product so they can educate themselves about what they're using and maybe connect those dots like you did. Okay, this is what caused this reaction. This is an irritant for me, and I'd like to avoid that. But if you don't even know where to start, it's very difficult for consumers, but we do think consumer pressure is the accountability the market's listening to.
Dr. Friedman, I'm just curious, when you walk through like a drugstore or a grocery store and you're looking at household products and makeup, you're probably like toxic. How bad is it? What goes through your mind?
Yeah, I will say when I'm in the store looking for products, I'm turning them over, showing the person I'm with. We wouldn't allow that. But you shouldn't have to be doing this 40 hours a week to have that kind of information.
I need a magnifying glass too. I'm so old. I'm like, I can't see anything.
Try pronouncing them.
Try pronouncing them. Yeah, and I think that's where EWG is trying to step in. We don't want people to have to memorize a list of 50 ingredients to avoid. We want transparency, we want disclosure, we want accessible information to, what is in your products, what are the ingredient concerns. And we all want to push, companies and regulation to start to take accountability. And we know that works. We've seen the market shift. EWG has been, tracking this for many years, and we have seen positive changes. And we know that, it is possible to find safer alternatives, safer ingredients, and have safe products.
Will you go shopping with me? I literally
Yes.
need to.
Yeah.
Okay, let's all
we'll
go.
all go.
Yeah. Find something somewhere. Okay. So by the way, since I started paying attention to what I'm putting on my skin, which is very recent, I am healing. The hives are fading. And for the first time in years, I feel comfortable just walking around without makeup on, although I don't love it, but I do it. I have to say, Pamela Anderson, when she started wearing makeup, I think she might be onto something with her no makeup look. At first, maybe some thought it felt radical, even shocking to see her barefaced on the red carpet. But maybe that is what good health and beauty really looks like, showing up as yourself. Because ultimately, this isn't about vanity, it's about health. And to me, that's more beautiful than anything I can buy in a jar. I have learned that the hard way. Dr. Alexa Friedman and Jocelyn Lyle of the Environmental Working Group, thank you so much. And for more on my journey, if you want to know more after seeing those pictures, head to knowyourvalue.com and airmail.news to read my first-person piece on this. And that does it for Morning Mika. We'll see you soon on YouTube and Peacock.